Hello, everybody. You're very welcome once again to Rostrevor Area News. This week, I seem to be flying solo. Damien has fell out with me, but forgot to tell me what I've done on him. But anyway, we'll press on. The first item up this week is in relation to the return of the church services. Opened again to the parishioners. Father Kearns sort of run it on a trial basis there for the past two Sundays, and it seemed to be quite successful. So he now has opened up the weekday masses and indeed the Saturday evening vigil mass to the parishioners as well. The difference is this time, obviously, the social distancing measures are still in place, and the congregation will be limited to 50 people. Now, Father Kearns would also like to remind people that whilst a lot of people would be keen to get back till physically visiting the chapel, it's very, very important. Anybody that feels that even has the slightest hint of a cold, what he's saying is, listen, don't bother, and if possible, revert back to the webcam, which has also now gone live and seems to be greatly welcomed by people from far and wide. And just a reminder how to access the webcam services when that are on in the chapel. You just put in church services.tv/Rostrevor and just follow the links, and that will take you straight to the Rostrevor Chapel and that view that's on the screen there. So the second item this week is a new feature that we hope to have in place going forward. And instead of me going to the club, St Bronaghs G.A.C club, to seek out the notices and notes, I thought it better to actually get someone from the club to make that contribution themselves. So then if there's anything left out, it's Richie Reynolds that'll get blamed and not me. So we'll have a wee video here from Richie. If everything goes according to plan, this will be the way we're going to do it in the weeks to come. So we'll just give Cahill a chance to get that loaded up.
To share our St Bronaghs club notes with your viewers this evening and hopefully weekly going forward. I had to wear my Rostrevor top tonight, Damien. Wasn't allowed to wear my car cup and top. Don't think it would have gone down too well with the locals. Firstly, this evening, I would like to extend our best wishes for a speedy recovery to club chairman Kieran Sloan, who unfortunately was taken ill during the week. Thankfully, he's back at home recuperating. You'll be sorely missed around the club while you're getting back on your feet, Kieran. Thankfully, Paul McGee, vice chairman, is able to take up some of the responsibility of Kieran's role while he's out of action. Main thing at the moment for you, Kieran, is to get back on your feet, and we look forward to seeing you around the club soon. I suppose the main focus this week for the club is the return of competitive football matches. We have a number of matches in the field this weekend after just training for the last number of weeks. So on Friday evening, we have our senior men who are at home to Mare Bridge at 7:30. Then on Saturday, we have two matches in Pettit Park, one at 5, the Premier Reserves, and one at 7, the senior ladies. Then on Sunday, the under-16 ladies are playing at 12:30. Obviously, over the last number of weeks, we've been trying to accommodate all of our teams training in the pitch. This has become logistically more difficult now with matches being introduced. But where possible, we are trying to get as many teams onto the pitch in Pettit Park training as possible. So mentors are being kept aware of their training times and schedules, and it is changing week to week with matches, but we're trying to facilitate as best we can every team on the field. And of course, there'll be a COVID supervisor for every team at every session in line with the GAA guidelines. Obviously, one of the main things at the moment regarding the resumption of matches is that spectators aren't currently allowed inside the ground in the 6 counties. Now, hopefully, we're going to get some clarification or updated guidance before the resumption of competitive football, which is this Friday the 17th. But at the moment, as it stands, spectators unfortunately aren't allowed inside the ground. Moving away from the football onto the club facility side of things, the social club has been closed for a number of months, but we received communication from the GAA this week saying that club bars that don't serve food will be able to open from the 20th of July, providing they can provide the necessary precautions and measures. So hopefully over the next 10 days we'll have an update on when the social club will be open. And then from the club gym point of view, it's going to remain closed past the 20th of July following this recent guideline from the GAA. They've said that all club gyms have to remain closed. So unfortunately, I know people have been asking about the club gym, but until further notice, it's going to remain closed. Just going back to the social club for a moment, I would like to extend our sincere thanks to Paul Graham, who has indicated to the club that he'll be stepping down from his role running the bar, which he's done for a number of years for the club. All the hours that you volunteered to the club, the expertise that you put into the role, we're deeply indebted to you, and we'd like to thank you sincerely and wish you all the best. You'll be missed around the place, and certainly you've done great things for the social club over the last number of years. Thank you very much. Finally, for this week, just on our club lotto, which has obviously been suspended for a number of months now. It's a major income stream for the club, as it is for every GAA club, and hopefully we'll be able to get it back up and running by the end of the month. Now, plans are being put in place at the moment, maybe more focus on online sales and door-to-door selling, but we're looking to get it back up and running. So again, more information about this will be published on social media in due course, and I could have more information about it next week for you, along with some match results. So again, thanks very much, Jarlath, for giving us the opportunity to share our club notes with your viewers. We'll see you next week.
Richie, and my thanks to you and everybody at St Bronaghs G.A.C club. And personally, I want to wish all the teams in the club all the best for as the season opens. It's been a strange year on so many levels, and also my personal best wishes and thanks to Paul Graham for all that he has done in the club over many years. And Paul has decided to start to take things a bit easier, and a well-deserved rest it is. So Richie, my thanks for your cooperation on bringing them notes together, and I think it's a perfect fit for this wee programme going forward. Right, next item on the agenda is I have a couple of birthday wishes to give out to two very special people. Well-respected, highly regarded, lifelong Rostrevor residents. And first up is this great woman here, Mrs. Kathleen Clark, local businesswoman, and reads in the chapel, sings in the choir. Kathleen is just an all-rounder, and she is still going strong, and we are so delighted that she still retains such good health. And the very best wishes to you, Kathleen. You had a birthday there on Sunday past, so every year for you is a glorious 12th, no doubt. Next photo up is another lifelong resident of Kilbrony, and this man today, believe it or not, enters his 10th decade. So my warmest congratulations and a big happy birthday to Sil Keelty. And Sil, for the vast majority of his life, got his water on a daily basis from a spring on the side of the mountain just above where he lives there. So there's no doubt that has helped Sil reach such a remarkable milestone. And congratulations, Sil, to yourself and Kathleen. Next up, everybody throughout Ireland and indeed beyond at some stage have heard of Fungi the dolphin down in Dingle. But what may not be known just as well is that we now have a resident dolphin in Carlingford Lough who is starting to make more and more frequent visits, and is every bit as visible on the northern side as the southern side. So, but the Cooley and Carlingford Lough Peninsula Facebook page actually run the competition earlier this week to name the dolphin, and it was whittled down to a choice of two, and the two names were Finn and Bobby, and a remarkable 2,800 people voted to choose the name, and the overwhelming choice with 1,800 votes was Finn. So let's hoping that Finn becomes every bit as famous as Fungi in the years to come. And just a reminder to people, whilst they're friendly and a beautiful sight to see out in Carlingford Lough, I would just reiterate the importance that this is a wild mammal, and their space has to be respected even when they're out on the water. And don't ever, anybody that is ever out in boats, don't be trying anything silly, and allow that dolphin till do what it does out in the loch in peace, and for the enjoyment of everybody that actually are starting to come to see Finn in action. Now, the next item on the agenda is also related to Carlingford Lough in some ways, because earlier on this week I took a visit out to Killowen to see local man Bill Donnelly, and I had heard of an exploit that Bill and his friend John McElroy and 4 other long distance ultra swimmers were about to undertake. And we'll play the short video here, and maybe if Cahill's able to bring that up, and then we'll come back and have a short word about it. Here we go. You join me here this evening on the shores of Carlingford Lough. A summer's evening, although the weather would certainly suggest otherwise. But over my right shoulder are local ultra swimmers, Bill Donnelly and John McElroy. And the 2 guys, along with some of their long distance swimming friends, are about to undertake a mammoth task within the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to get a word with the 2 lads now in 1 second. So I'm joined here just on the shore of Carlingford Lough with local ultra swimmers, John McElroy and Bill Donnelly. And the 2 lads, along with 4 other ultra swimmers, are about to undertake a mammoth task within the next week or so when conditions are right. And they're going to swim in relay formation from the Isle of Islay in the southwest of Scotland to the Giant's Causeway on the Antrim coast. John, Bill, rather you than me, I have to say, and I'm sorry for you standing here in such a horrible evening. John, this route's never been done. People have done from Port Patrick to the Bangor area, which is a much shorter route as the crow flies. This is the longest route, I believe, that possible on the North Channel. Why has it never been done?
Probably for that reason.
Right, okay.
It's quite hard to navigate. You need a pilot who knows the area, knows the waters.
Okay.
We're lucky enough to do 2 of them. So.
Right. Distance-wise, what are you talking about?
It's apparently straight line, about 45, 50k.
Okay, but of course it'll be longer than that when you have to factor in tides.
Probably some again. It's never been done, so we don't know for sure. But 60k probably.
60k. Why so? Right. There's yourself, Bill, and 4 others.
4
right?
others, yeah.
How long will it take overall?
The pilot reckons, depending on tide and how well we do, between 18 and 24 hours.
Right, okay. Now, Bill, when I spoke to you earlier, you said you'll not be wearing wetsuits, right?
No wetsuits,
so, apart from the cold factor, what are the other main challenges on undertaking a feat such as this?
The tide, the wind, jellyfish.
Okay.
Just it.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming this is not something you get up in the morning and say, right, we're going tomorrow. The conditions have to be right, and you have to plan ahead. Yeah. So, if there's such a thing as a perfect day, what actually determines that for doing it? It's the wind primarily.
Yeah.
Right. So a wee bit of sunshine on your back and calm waters and no jellyfish would be the ideal conditions.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, listen, lad, it's a mammoth task you have ahead of you. What date are you aiming for?
Well, it was this week.
Okay.
Probably not going to happen now, so it could be in a couple of weeks.
Fair enough. Well, listen, all the best, and I hope all 6 of you get back safe.
Hopefully we do.
Right. Fair play. All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, there's my old mate Damien's back again.
Hello, Jarlath.
Damien, maybe
Jarlath.
maybe you're like myself. You get exhausted just going to the shop and back. Never mind taking on a marathon swim as the lads are proposing to do. That short video, Damien. It's fair to say it probably actually doesn't do justice till the task ahead of these lads.
No,
Anybody that's ever crossed that North Channel, gone over till football matches or anything in Scotland, the sea is actually black. It's black, and it's the most unwelcoming stretch of water I think I've ever been on. Like a turquoise blue, it ain't. And
well,
Bill Donnelly was telling
Bill,
me. Bill Donnelly was telling me that 20-foot waves would be the norm up on that part. So I really take my hat off to those guys, and I wish them all the best.
Look, it'll be no bother to them men. Them men are seasoned open water swimmers, and of course, your Bill was part of the big swim here in Camilla several years ago. That the record still stands, and he was some crack, I can tell you. And he loves the swimming, and of course we take our hats off to them. And of course now you've got wee Finn down there, and of course probably named after the legendary Finn McCool from our part of the country as well. So great to see the wee dolphin down there in the loch. It's just it's a wee bit special, and you're right. Let the people stay away from him. Let the wee man have his own little bit of fun there, and it's great how that's happening here. So I did say he did go. He wouldn't know if he was in the north or the south, would he? No, of course, and well done to Richie there for a great roundup of the Rostrevor news. I think it's a great idea, and it's fairly getting the news out there, and that you're setting the stall for everybody else now. So it'll be interesting to see will more Gaelic clubs come on board and do the same. Hopefully they will. No problem. Jarlath, all I can say to you is that. Have a good weekend and enjoy the return of the football if you can get to see it. I don't know how you're going to handle it down in your part of the world. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, to be fair.
Damien, it's so strange, and it's things are easing up and opening up all around us, and you just wonder. You wonder about the powers that be. Now, I'm not saying what's right and what's wrong, but funny on the 6 o'clock news this evening, the opening of the pubs and the allowing bigger crowds at outdoor events in the Republic has been pushed back for another 3 weeks. So you do wonder sometimes, are the health people more up to speed with what's going on and the likelihood of what's coming down the track than the general public is? So everybody's only trying to keep us safe. I suppose that's the thing.
Yeah, and I can understand that. But what I can't wrap my head around is that you can go to a pub, but you can't go to the football field. And you mean when we're talking about club games, you're not talking thousands and thousands of people. If you had 100 people at a club game on a good day, you'd be delighted with that. And it's a big area to keep yourself well away from. You could go and stand in the corner and be put in a corner and stand your own, and you'd be all right. But we're not allowed to do that. So I don't know. I'm hoping, Jarlath, that it maybe hopefully something or some sensibility will come about. But I tell you, I wouldn't want to be wearing a yellow coat at a gate this weekend.
Oh, I'd seen the wee bit earlier where Justin was talking about Declan McAteer. I'll tell you, Declan's a great man boy. He's as wicked as a weasel.
Look. I wouldn't wish it on any man, and I think because what actually that could happen. To be fair, it could annoy people, and it could turn people away from your club for the rest of the year. And that's you have to be careful about all that. But we look forward to see how it pans out, and we'll have a better chat about it next week. So it'll be interesting.
Okay.
Thanks, Jarlath.
All right.